What does your day-to-day life look like?
Well, the day-to-day life for me often revolves around connecting with people. The most important people in my organization are our team and our board and our community networks. And without them, we could not be who we are and we could not thrive. And my job is to ensure that they are well and that they are thriving in their roles and in their work, and because that makes us better in our ability to accomplish our mission.
So I'm on the computer a lot, collaborating with team members across the country. But in addition to that, myself and the associates on our team, and Yoshida included, who you connected with before, we're all managing interns across the country, fellows across the country. So the MANO Project administers maybe just over 200 internships a year now and continues to grow. And that's throughout the year, with summer being our busiest season. So at any given moment, we could be managing anywhere between 5 interns and 50 interns per person. And so what that means is I will be, there's a bunch of administration that comes with that. We are, in a way, our own self-sustaining human resources department as a technical employer for all of these fellows and interns. So there's some HR, there's some paperwork, but the layer that we are proud of in integrating into these fellowships is when we recruit, which we do, we do outreach to communities to make sure that they are aware of these opportunities where they usually don't hear about them. We play an active role in interviews and candidate selection. But once we select someone, we don't kind of just release them into the wild and say, have at it, hope it's great. We make a big effort to stay in touch with them, at least on monthly check-ins, if not more often, to just get a sense of how their experience is going, where they need areas of support. Everyone's coming in with different experience. For some people, it's their first job ever. For others, they're in grad school, but they haven't really, grasped the networking. Everybody needs something a little different from us. And so we connect with our interns and fellows to see where they need additional support, how we can make their experience better. And then once they transition out of the program, we're also staying in touch with them as alumni. So I just hopped off what we call our cafecito, which is once a month we host a virtual space for our current interns and alumni to meet up, to network. Sometimes we'll have lists. So I would say very much like Maite, my day-to-day is all about managing different relationships, whether it's the fellows I'm managing, whether it's alumni, and of course nurturing the relationships with our partners, with the Forest Service, with Fish and Wildlife Service, the National Park Service, and several other government entities. Just making sure to put all the pieces in place so that these internships, fellowships are a success. It means a lot of budgets, a lot of admin, but also a lot of relationship building.
What have you found most challenging about what you do?
Well, for me, the most challenging piece, honestly, can be the people. It's impossible to have 100% always of people who are in the perfect spot and doing perfectly well. It's always hills and valleys, and I think that takes it takes work and practice to experience, and the process of listening and of being able to support individuals. So I would say that's probably one of the most challenging. And then the other is, I would say, the idea of administrative work growing too much to interfere with that people connection that always has to be managed as well.
Our programs are growing, and we're definitely at a flexion point in our organization where we've grown so fast that we're now restructuring things and reshaping things, opening new opportunities for people within our own staff so that we can grow alongside those different successful programs. So definitely balancing the administrative work with the relationship piece is always difficult. But what I was going to say, I was thinking about this question actually, was I think is both the most challenging but most rewarding, maybe even most emotionally draining component of the work is putting the mission first, because when it comes to this program, especially one at this size, there's a lot of kind of resources and investment built into it, financial ones, emotional investment, people power, and when we're collaborating with partners, some who are at a certain point in their journey of equity, and some are a little further behind and still learning. And so having to negotiate with them and trying to get them to understand our priorities, what requires these resources and why. Sometimes people are really on board with it from the beginning, and others maybe don't understand and aren't just aren't in the same space in understanding what it takes to create equity, and it's expensive sometimes. So keeping the mission first and kind of imbuing all of our practices with that, because we're partnering with organizations, especially the government, they have their way of doing things. This is what they know, this is how it's rated, this is how it works. And we come in and we bring a lot of good stuff with us, but sometimes people see it's like, oh, there's a wrench in the system, this is different. And everybody's kind of got to meet each other at a certain point, create compromises, concessions, and find a way to understand that even though we have different processes, we all have common ground in our priorities and putting those first. So I would say that's kind of the most challenging part.